just like the one.
We miss you guys so much. Oh my god! It's so nice to see you again.
This is the Ella's room and Ella's bed on Schnott in Rishon LeZion. This is Koach Froch's house, which is me, Ella, and Zoe. And we're gonna answer some questions for you today.
Also, Jed and Justine here.
Hello.
From Tapuz Katom, which is 15 minutes away.
Okay, cool. Okay, so here's some of the questions you guys asked. We're gonna answer them. Just start from the top.
Living conditions.
How's it been living with 15 plus people in a house?
Pretty fun.
I personally like the positives for me is that every morning, like before Messima, I'll come downstairs and people will be making breakfast, and for me that's like a really nice thing. It can get like pretty hectic when everyone's in the same room and it can get really messy. That's like annoying, but besides that, I love it.
I find it pretty cool. You can go downstairs, if your house has stairs, at 3 a.m. and people can be having a D&M or making pancakes or just like having a chat outside, and you can go join either of those things or just watch some TV, and there's people everywhere all the time. It's pretty cool.
I think it's like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm very rarely ever bored, or like there's always someone to talk to, always stuff going on. I feel like when you're in year 12, it's like quite an alone time because you're constantly in your room studying, and we don't really socialize that much. So it was really nice to come and live in a house with 20 people, and there's always stuff going on, always people there. It's just like constant good vibes and like always a lot of energy around. But it is what you make it. Like you have to put effort into making it a good space. It's not just magically going to be a good space because there's a lot of people there.
It also takes ages to get anything done. Like, making any decision, even like a movie, takes forever, which is really annoying. But that's still part of the process. It's really fun, though.
I think, like, in going off from that, I think that it's, like, obviously hard to find time to yourself. But if you really, like, do want time to yourself, you can always get it. Like, you can always talk to your room and be like, hey, can I have the room for, like, an hour just to, like, have some time to myself? Or you can go to the beach. You can go
For a walk.
Or like there's, you're not limited to just the house. Like you can go to other places, and there's always room to like, everyone understands that people need space. So like it's good like that.
Okay, how have you managed to find time just for yourself? Is kind of what to just speak about. I think that. I don't know, I thought I was really worried about that coming into Schnott, but it's like kind of been one of my biggest problems is that every time I do take time for myself, I like feel like, oh, this is boring, I want to go downstairs and be with everyone. So it's kind of like I found it really wasn't an issue. You definitely can just lie in your bed, but I think it's like the environment where you don't really want to and you just want to be up and about and doing stuff.
It also changes between Yesod and Kaveret. Like it's very different to find time for yourself on kibbutz when it's kind of like a smaller area, but there are still like spaces in the kibbutz that you can go to and just like chill by yourself in like the community gardens if you want, or like literally do whatever, go for a bike ride. But on Kaveret it's a bit harder because it requires you to like kind of venture out a little bit more by yourself into like a like actual cityscape, which is a bit scary sometimes, but it's also like there's always a space even in your house. Like there's probably going to be places that you can like go to be by yourself.
There's also like your friends can have like their families. You can always go there for like a weekend and just get away from like the program if that's something that you like want to do.
Also, I think that on Kaveret you find that like not everyone in the Kfutza has the same schedules because of Messima. So like the house isn't always as full all the time. Like on Yesod, because everyone has the same schedule, you're all going to be in the same place at the same time, pretty much doing the same thing. But I think Kaveret gives you like, I don't know, space to like get to know people in smaller groups. And that also is a way to get a bit more downtime and like not feel so overwhelmed with people all the time.
Should we talk about kibbutz?
Wait, this is another
question.
Things that scared you about living with other people before Shana.
Oh, I got this. Okay, so a lot of things scared me, but a lot of conversations are made before you guys are settled into your house. how people expect the house to run, rules are put down, tzvatim are made to really organise the house in a certain way. And you can make sure that you feel comfortable in those situations. I was pretty scared, to be honest, about cleanliness, hygiene, and that type of stuff. And I'm on the hygiene 7. So I make sure that stuff is taken care of and that the house is clean. And you make days to clean the house. Obviously, it'll be different for you guys, but that was just one of my things. And it really helps to talk to people, which I've learned.
One of my biggest struggles was I felt that coming into Shnat I hadn't really connected with that many people on a level that wasn't surface.
Fed level.
Yeah, fed level.
Oh, gosh.
So I was really nervous to be sharing rooms with these people, and I'll admit that in the beginning it was a bit uncomfortable, and it probably took me until a few weeks into Kaveret to actually feel like I knew everybody. But it's that was the one thing I was so scared about, and at this point I feel like I know everybody in my kfutza, and even maybe I can extend that to shikva quite well. And I think that's one of the really exciting parts about this I don't know, structure of the program. It means you get to know people in a really different way to what you usually would.
On kibbutz, you get I don't know how it will be for you guys, but we got 2.5 months in a house living with your kfutza, and for us that was a good taste tester of what it's going to be living with each other. It's not the same because you're not cooking together, and you don't need to be in the house all the time, but I think it's that's a good practice time, training, I guess. I think that I was always worried that I wasn't gonna, similarly to Ella, worried that I didn't know people well enough to live with them, but you sort of get thrown in the deep end, but it always works out, and you'll get to know everyone, and you'll get frustrated at people, but also love everyone's company by the end, and you'll learn everything about everyone, and know people more intimately than your siblings.
I got a quick thing on that. I was really worried that there were quite a few people in our shikfa, because it's a pretty big shikfa, that I didn't feel I got along with, or I found them a bit annoying, or they just had very different personalities or cultures to us. Hi, Brooke.
Hey,
guys. Hi.
Say hi.
This is Brooke from Melbourne.
It's a Brooke.
But I actually think that people very much surprised me, and people that I really found kind of annoying or didn't get along with are now some of my really good friends, and you really do appreciate, people say this every year, but it's true, you do appreciate people's quirks and weird things, and I think that was something I was really worried about, but it turned out to be a really positive thing.
And you learn how to cope with them.
Yeah. You also that doesn't mean that you just stop getting annoyed by people.
Yeah.
I get annoyed with people so often, and it's but you overcome it, and that makes your relationship stronger, which is, I think, amazing.
We should, yeah.
Kaveret or Poland?
Let's go
I feel
kibbutz.
we spoke a bit about Kaveret.
Let's do kibbutz.
Yeah, we've spoken about most of the Kaveret. Let's do kibbutz.
Maybe that was structure. What it looked for us.
Okay, so our kibbutz experience was very intense. We had a really packed schedule every day. We had Yesod Pilot 2 days a week for 4
3 days a week.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 3 days a week for 4 hours, which was very intense, and a lot of people struggled with it. But the content that they were putting across was oh yeah. So the content was really important. Sometimes just not that engaging, and it's hard to go from being in Perth and you have all these really fun method based Perlot, and then you go to Shnat where everything's basically Sikha based. The Perlot were run by a tzevet of madrichimot that either had made aliyah from the movement, or they were from Hanavet, yeah. So they came down 3 times a week. We had Yom Kfutza once a week with our madrichimot for each of our Yeah, kibbutzot, that's the word. Then we had Yom Tiyul.
Yom Tiyul is like literally the best day ever.
Yom
It was a
Tiyul.
break for
Okay,
me.
No
It was
joke, I
so
just was
good.
about to say, what's Yom Tiyul? That's sad. It's like the best
Really?
thing. It's just been so long
We
ago.
haven't
It was-
gone on a hike
yeah.
in so long.
It was like one day a
Oh my
week where
God.
we would go on a hike in the Negev. I think a lot of people expected it to be very different. A lot of people struggled with it. A lot of people didn't like it. But like going on the hikes are like amazing because it's so rewarding that like every week you're doing like 8 or 9 kilometers, maybe sometimes even 10 kilometers of like hard hikes.
It's also like because Kibbutz Revivim is quite far in the south and it's quite remote. It's like 40 minutes from Be'er Sheva, which is like a shitty city
It's so
anyways.
shitty.
But it's
Like-
really nice to visit.
Um,
on the
I
weekend.
think that it was like a really good escape for people and it like a good feeling to not feel, a good way to feel not so trapped on kibbutz.
Yeah.
And like I would implore you to just like take advantage of that even if it is a bit hard because it's like honestly like my best memories are from Yom Tiyul.
And you get the best sleep on the bus on the way there and back.
Take advantage of that.
I think
Seriously.
that kibbutz was like I look back on kibbutz in like a very like utopian kind of way. I think I had a lot of fun. There's a lot of really great places on kibbutz, like there's community garden and the Sunset Tower, like really nice places that you can hang out. And I feel like here, well, like in the house, like Zoe said, you go outside, you're in the city. But like when you go outside of your house in kibbutz, you're like still in your little area, and you can just walk around and you feel very safe. There's just so many fun things, riding your bike.
Go to the pool.
Yeah, going to the pool. It's just like, it's literally, it feels a lot of the time in your free time like a kind of summer camp with your friends. I don't know, I just thought it was really awesome. And we had bungalows and a house, which is different than, it's never been like that. In the beginning, that was like quite upsetting because we like didn't want to live in bungalows, but it turned out to be like really cool. And yeah, you got like really close to your room because it was just your room. There was nothing else.
We've talked a bit about Kaveret. I think we should do Messima.
Yeah.
Which is like related to Kaveret. I have been really lucky with my Messima. My first Messima in the summer was with Hano Haved doing a kayetze, like a summer camp, for 2 weeks. It was every day. It was like really early wake ups. Got back in the afternoon. It was quite intense, but really, really rewarding. We went on excursions twice a week to water parks and hikes and caving and went to the zoo. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was great. Like running Perlot, fun Perlot for junior, and your Hebrew like improves so much. It's like way better than Ulpan. But then Kaveret now, like Messima, I'm in a school doing like informal education, teaching English. I personally had a great time. There's like people who do struggle with Messima on Kaveret because it can be quite demanding, or you're maybe not given a lot of stuff to do, or it's not so fulfilling because you're like maybe just teaching English and it's like sort of why am I doing this? But I think that overall, I think people have a good time.
I think like the concept of Messima as an experience is like really important. Like I know that like Zoe and I were in the same seven and Tal did a similar Messima to us too at a different school where we like it was like a Keitana, so like during the summer, like when parents can't look after their kids because they're working, they send their kids to the schools and the schools like run like day camp things. And I think it was like a quite overwhelming experience for a lot of us in those situations. Like it kind of like just didn't go like super well for like the group, and like we ended up like having a lot of discussions about it with our madruchim and like getting frustrated with the process. But I think that like looking back, like that struggle was really important for all of us.
Yeah, it was like learning how to deal with issues as part of Sevet, I think, and that's almost more valuable in
Yeah.
hindsight than like learning how to do hydrocar because we do a lot of that in Australia.
And it's about like looking at something and like just constantly thinking like how can I make this better, and like what can I do to make this experience better for me, better for like my friends,
Yeah, it's
better for the
responsibility,
honey
really.
clan. Yeah.
It was also like a really good bonding experience for all of the Tzvatim that were in Keitanot because we had this like common struggle, but also like bonding experience for like within Itzevet. Like I feel like I get close to my I feel like I get close to my Tzvatim each time like I'm in a new Tzevet because you have to like rely on each other so much, and it's like if someone's not awake in the morning to go to Messima, then you have to like wake them up and make sure they're like fine and they have like something to eat in the day if you know they get hungry, or like, you know, you have to like learn a lot about people to be in a tsepa with them.
My first Messima was in a kitchener as well, and it was extremely fun. I really enjoyed it. We did about, I want to say 3 per lot, an hour each for different year levels. It was year 1s, year 2s, and then year 2s and 3s mixed. It was a different type of setup, and it was so rewarding because we learned so much Hebrew. We did not have a Hebrew speaker with us, which is something which was a bit hard, but we did overcome it, and my Sevet became really close, which is really good. I hadn't spent much time with those people before, so it was really amazing. And yeah, it's just really cool.
Should we quickly do Pauline and Seminar?
Yeah, wants to say hi.
Yeah, come
Hi.
say hey.
Yeah, Elle's from Sydney.
Oh, we got the whole.
Am I in it?
You can't see. It's like a reflective thing.
Hello.
Are people on the outside?
No.
Oh, okay.
There will be.
Have fun.
Alright, Pauline and Seminar.
Poland is something that I was quite like passionate about. I think coming into Schnat, like I was really in like the weirdest way possible, like looking forward to it. Like I really wanted to have that experience, and it was like something that I'd heard so much about. And yeah, like it's like what everybody says. It's like really difficult. It's really overwhelming, but it's I think one of like the most important like experiences you could possibly have. And I can say that like for our futsal, I think it brought us really, really close together. And yeah, it's like super emotional, but I think it's also in a weird time in the year.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like at a time where like things are really busy and like you have a bunch of seminars going on, and you're like, why the fuck would they put this at like now?
We literally went home for like 2
We went
months.
home for like a full 2
Barely.
months.
Like we came home for like 3
yeah.
days, did washing, left again. It was really hectic.
Yeah.
Fun.
There was like Northern Teal and Derek and what else?
Poland seminar.
Yum
Yum
Yum Yum.
Oh my
There was
God,
another thing in there
Self-run
somewhere.
Sam.
Self-run seminar.
Which you have to do yourself.
Hence the
Self-run.
name. Also, I quickly, Northern Teal and Yum Yum were like one of my highlights. Is
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
Northern Teal's going around the north, like excursion.
And
It's
Northern
more of like a
Teal
seminar.
And
is
Rapsodia.
Northern Teal is your whole shikba, and so is Yum Yum.
Yeah, and Yum Yum is
Yeah.
a
And so
3-day
is Derek.
hike.
Okay, can I just say for
Oh, yeah.
Yum Yum, no, like a lot of people don't get that excited about it, and like some people like missed out for various reasons. But like I think that it is like I think it's like the best thing on
It
Schnat.
was the fucking best. It was like actually such a highlight
It
of
was just
Schnat.
sleeping
The-
outside. And,
I think the
like,
things
hiking.
that like people get the least excited for, like a lot of people weren't excited for Rapsodia. A lot of people weren't excited for Yum Yum, and they were honestly like highlights for almost everyone in the ship.
Oh, Rapsodia.
Rapsodia was so fun.
That's when you go on the raft across the water.
Yeah, you like build a raft with
Yeah.
your futsal and
Yeah.
you sail it.
Our
You
raft.
also like you don't really meet anybody. It's
No.
just like
Yeah.
you say,
No.
there's like heaps of people there, but you don't talk to
Our
anybody.
raft like crashed into like a raft with like a bunch of Israelis, and they were like shouting at us. It was amazing. And then we didn't even get to the other side. We had to like drag our raft
Yeah.
because we like crashed. It was great.
Also, Poland. I think Poland was like one of the best pelot we've had all of Schnat. They were like about really interesting things like morality, and I just think like it was really, really interesting. Good.
Yeah.
Also, another seminar that is like the first one when you come to Schnat is AZYC. You'll hear like a lot of sighs around AZYC seminar. But yeah, like it's not like don't look like it's gonna be a bit weird probably if you guys
So
have it.
weird.
Like it's not the funnest thing
It's
ever.
not gonna feel like
It's a very
Yeah,
strange
it's nothing
vibe.
like Schnat. So like something I wasn't prepared for was that like the seminar was gonna be shit and like it's gonna make you feel like shit.
Because it's the
But
first
that's
thing
not
you
the
do.
program.
Also, remember
Yeah,
your
so it's
Schnat starts when you come to Revivim. It
Yeah.
does not
Yeah.
start on AZYC Sem. That is shit.
Even like the week after you get to Revs after orientation seminar
Then
and
it
like
starts.
and then
Once
you like
all
start
your
doing
work
Ramadan or
begins,
Pan.
yeah.
Once you sit in a
Once
circle and
Ramadan-
talk about your feelings,
Yeah.
and you
Schnat's
and you
on
cry.
TikTok.
And everyone cries together and
Then
has the
Schnat
cry.
starts.
No, that's terrible.
Should we talk about
Expenses?
Wait. Oh. Okay.
No, can you say something more?
No, I
Um,
did forget what I was going to say.
Okay, I'm
Wait.
gonna go wee.
in terms of
Wait, sorry, is the file gonna be too big to send? Should we?
We
We
can
can pause,
cut it out.
pause it. Should we pause it and play again?
would it matter? Isn't like the same.
No.
It's
Like
20
the
minutes.
files
You
you
said
send-
much
You
bigger.
send 2 things.
I reckon pause it and do it again.
Okay,
Bye.
ready?